So I drink till the night becomes another day, and the day's just another little thing in our way. There's something about the way you beat me down that I'll never learn. You're the pint of no return, the pain in my chest, the stain on your dress, the glass in my eye. But this life is a joke, and death is the punch. I know.
Mothers of Mayhem!
Beep, beep. Beep, 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 kids.
Beepity beep.
Beep, beep. Welcome to Mothers of Mayhem, an extreme horror podcast. You Looney Tunes. Are y'all ready for a Space Jam?
You know that song's gonna get stuck in my head all day.
I don't even know why I said that, because it really has nothing to do with today's
Nothing.
episode. But this is pretty much as good as it's gonna get. So deal with it.
Right? Now, are we talking LeBron James Space Jam, or are we talking the good one? The Michael Jordan Space Jam?
We're talking Michael Jordan Space Jam. I couldn't even finish Space Jam 2. And if that offends you, you can go ahead and unsubscribe from this podcast right now. Because
Bye.
You're probably stupid.
You're not our demographic.
That movie was shit.
It was
Sorry, LeBron.
Trash.
Your movie.
He makes millions. He's fine.
Space Jam 2, garbage. It's garbage.
Now, garbage all caps, or just garbage with a capital G and then garbage?
Oh, garbage all caps with a few extra A's after the B and a French accent.
Okay.
Garbage.
Wow.
Christina. It was
Jesus.
a tire fire.
Was it a vagina dumpster fire?
What?
I
No,
feel like-
my brain just like imagined a giant vagina with a lot of trash in it, and I don't ever want to think about that again.
You're welcome.
No.
You're welcome.
Although, that actually might be a good topic for a book. Authors, if you're listening,
Kevin Sweeney.
we know you are. Oh yeah, Kevin Sweeney. We're going to be hanging out with him today. This is very exciting because he's one of my absolute favorite Bizarro authors, and his book, I have to take a deep breath for this one. I had to swallow all my spit first. Okay, so his book, James and the Giant Mass of Pissing, Shitting, Screaming, Puking, Burping, Bleeding, Farting, Sweating, Ejaculating, Genetically Modified Mutant Monster Meat.
Got it.
That was my number 2 book of 2021. And I can't wait to talk with this guy today. He also has a really pretty face.
Well, to me, I am so frustrated with this man because he's been doing this for like 10 years, right? There's like no other interviews. There's nothing about this man anywhere.
Nothing at all?
I know pretty much nothing about this man. I know that he wrote a few books under pen names, which we'll get to. I know that he's written over a dozen books. But other than that.
Well, I know a lot of things about him.
How is that possible?
I just know things.
You can't possibly know things because he's like a bizarro ghost on the internet.
Well, I have it on good authority that Kevin Sweeney is actually the ghosts of 4 possums in a smoking jacket.
But no pants.
They're ghost.
Just a smoke jacket.
They're ghost possums, Christina. They don't need fucking pants.
Okay, well, I call horseshit because you need pants. Just walking around like Adam and Eve.
The fucking ghost possums don't need fucking pants, Christina.
Yes, they do. God damn it. Yes, they do. So anyway, those possums. Like every episode, we need trigger warnings, content warnings, spoiler warnings. You know, there's going to be language.
Pantsless ghost possums.
Pantsless ghost possums. You know, you never know what we'll say or who will try to piss off in the community just because, you know, that's just who we are. And we're going to discuss all kinds of books with Kevin. So there will probably be spoilers. So, you know, suck it up, buttercup.
Christina.
Huh.
Christina. Kevin Sweeney is a reincarnated Victorian match girl.
Horseshit.
Kevin Sweeney is my sleep paralysis demon.
Wow. Oh wow. Yeah.
Christina, he's the beard of Zeus. Not Zeus himself, though. Just the beard part.
That's even worse. Because that's just like irritating. And what have you been reading since we last spoke? Give me something normal. Give me something normal.
I don't have that.
Right? I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong podcast. I apologize.
No. So I am halfway through My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, which I have been sleeping on for probably like almost 9 months. And because I'm reading it along with some other things right now, I'm like slowly getting through it. I bought it like 3 weeks ago when I was in Florida. I'm only halfway through, but it's good. 100% recommend. Once I've finished it, I'll do a full review. But the other one I'm reading is one that any of you who are active in books of horror or any of the literary fiction groups on Facebook right now, you're probably hearing all about this one. And anytime we have like a big hyped book, I tend to kind of sleep on it. Like I did with My Dark Vanessa, because you and I do so much indie stuff. But I was interested in this one, and then what really got me was I had a chance to spend time with Candace Nola last weekend, and the way she described this book to me, I immediately downloaded it and I started it that night. I am almost through it because it's been a busy week, but it is Winterset Hollow by Jonathan Durham. And when Candace described this book to me, she described just this marvelous, like almost lyrical type storytelling. And she was absolutely right. The prose is just so elegant, but also easy to read. And you can visualize everything that's happening. It's almost like a modern day Alice in Wonderland. It is horror, but it's not our usual brand of horror. There's no gore. There's not I haven't come across a single ounce of violence just yet. But
so it's more like realistic horror.
It's like an Alice in Wonderland style, almost like fantasy. And the horror is, it's very quiet horror. Like, this should not be real. This should not be happening. What's really going on here? And I have yet to find out, but I've been reading as much as I can in whatever little pieces of time I get, because Candace was absolutely right. It's just, it's stunningly beautiful. And I think this is his first full length novella. So if this is the bar that he set for himself, good luck, Jonathan.
Right. Good luck topping yourself.
Because it it is lovely. What are you reading?
Oh gosh. What have I not been reading? I just finished Dawn, Texas, 2002 by Eric Butler, who everyone knows I want to take out his kneecaps. He gets to keep them right now. He gets to keep them. He has redeemed himself to me. Redeemed. Yes. It is about 182 pages.
Not bad.
And It's the best one yet. Best one yet. How he interweaves everything, amazing. And then I have been rereading all the stories in the Fucking Scumbags Burn in Hell series. To correspond, right? To correspond with the release on the 15th of February. So every day I reread and review them. And they're so much fun the second time around. Like I'm picking up on little things that I didn't see. And I've read The Diner, so I know what to look for going back through. And it's chef's kiss.
I am waiting to do my reread until my physical copy of Call Me Hoop shows up. So you all know we are recording this on February 12th. You probably aren't going to hear this for another 3 to 4 weeks. So by the time you hear this episode, Call Me Hoop will have already launched.
Oh, yeah. Pick it up.
We will already have our physical copies. If you have not ordered it, have not picked it up, you need to go to Bloodbound Books. You need to get it because this is one of the best horror, like splatterpunk transgressor. I don't even know how we describe it. It's just great. It's great. And it's a
amazing.
Godless exclusive, the first Godless exclusive that has gone to physical print. So you absolutely must get it. It has just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say what? Did you say that Godless is only an ebook platform?
Godless is only a digital platform. You can only get ebooks, but there's a lot of reasons for that. And if you go to their website and you read the information on there, you will learn all about it. Plus, just so you are aware, a lot of the profits that, all authors who put their material on Godless get 90% of their royalties in return, which is more than they get on any other platform.
Yeah, it's
also
insane.
Drew is very, very active with the Children of the Night charity, and we do a lot of work and put a lot of time and effort into supporting charities that help and support people who have been victims of sex trafficking. And that is very, very important to all of us. So yes, boom. You need to buy Call Me Hoop because this is very, very important. Plus Bloodbound Books. If you listened to our episode with S.C. Mendez, Bloodbound Books is also highly philanthropy focused. So we, in this subgenre of the horror community, charity, philanthropy, say that 3 times fast.
No, I'm good.
So
I can barely say anything.
Are a good place to pick up these books because your money is going to good purposes.
And then one last book. Book.
What is it?
Fires of Garbage Head by Tim O'Neill.
That just dropped today.
It was an emerge, so it's between D&T and Godless. Every single solitary one that they are putting out right now, this one blew me away. It's phenomenal. Pick it up. It's like gonna be 50 cents, $1 or something. It's insane. And it is, God, it's like everything you want. It's everything you want. It's amazing.
I am waiting until I get my tax return, and then I am legit buying myself like a $150 Godless.
Nice.
Because I always run out of money. Because I'm a poor bitch. My family, I am a registered nurse, so I make decent money, but we have 3 kids, 3 cats, and a mortgage and all that stuff, and I'm the only income. So
allegedly you have
our money only goes so far. I know, right? It sucks. So after a while, my kids are like, Mom, how much money do you have? And I'm like, none. Actually, I have like negative money.
But here, read this.
Yeah. But I have all of these books you can read.
Right. You can eat them. They're fine.
But you need to,
all natural.
But you need to be strong, children, because mommy can't afford therapy right now. So
I'll start a GoFundMe.
Christina,
What?
Christina.
I don't want to.
Christina, Kevin Sweeney.
I don't want to. I am so
Kevin-
frustrated with this man.
Kevin. I know, because you don't know anything about him, and I know all kinds of stuff about him.
You know so much. Oh,
Did you know? Kevin Sweeney is Uncle Jonathan's corncob pipe.
Oh my God. Okay, let's bring him in.
Christina, no, Kevin Sweeney is a pair of mismatched socks, and one of them keeps sliding down into the heel of your shoe and bunching up in your shoe.
No, we need to bring him on. I heard
that he's a whale's vagina.
No. No.
Christina, he's an old wooden ship from the Civil
Just stop.
War. Actually, he's my future third husband and second baby daddy.
Can we just bring him on, please?
No.
Why are you like this?
Just let it happen. Bing, bing, bing. All right. Kevin Sweeney, welcome to the Zoom room. We are so happy to have you.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
I have given the people your name, and Christina and I already chatted about you a little bit in our intro that we did before you joined us. But would you like to take a moment just to introduce yourself to people, let them know a little bit about you in your own words? Because we tend to be a little bit more creative, as you may already know.
Thanks.
You're not going to hear that for another 3 weeks or so.
Now that's a hell of a euphemism, isn't it? Yeah.
So who are you?
Don't we all ask that of ourselves all the time?
That's true.
Let's try doing this. All right. Well, obviously my name is Kevin Sweeney, and I am a person from the south of England who writes violent drivel. Such violent drivel includes, and check this out, in full salesman pitch here.
Go for it.
The Lollipop Man.
One of my favorites.
Thank you. The Garden Gnome.
Another one of my favorites.
How many favourites do you have?
He's got a lot.
No. Which
He's got
I
a
did not mention in the intro, but you are like in my top 3 favorite authors.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Lovely.
Continue.
Okay, I shall.
Show them all the good stuff.
Right, I'll continue to shield from this point. The Crop Circle. Those are 3 that have come out recently. Those are obviously paperback editions of things, but mainly what I've been working on a lot recently, thanks to a certain amount of serendipity last year, is a lot of short material for The Mighty Godless.
Yes.
That includes 2 particular series, one of which is The 7 Sins, which is about the 7 sins, obviously. Yeah, the giveaway in the title, and an older work, which I actually have a paperback copy of here, which came out a long time ago now. This is a book that came out from Morbid Books about 10 years ago, but it's now been serialized on Godless in 6 parts. Yes, in 6 parts. There's various, each chapter was serialized because they're almost like self-contained, but they all do form one overall story, which is the whorehouse that Jack built. I do have a lot more books in the past because I've been working in this industry for the past, well, it must be 15, 16, maybe 17 years now. I think the first book that I co-authored with another gentleman called Nathaniel Lambert came out in 2009.
Oh, Christina has many questions here.
Oh.
She has many questions about this. See, do you want to give him the quick question rundown just so he knows what to expect here? And then you can go ahead and just go on in.
There.
Yes.
Get in there. So pretty much we're just going to kind of go back and forth with questions. Sometimes we'll have something a little extra but I mean, it's just kind of ping ponging back and forth. But I want to start mine with, I feel like I'm like you're on a witness stand. I feel bad, but I have to do this.
I'm on a witness stand.
There you go. I have to do this. So this was a legit text message that I sent to Marian. I would like to go on record that Kevin Sweeney is the most infuriating guest thus far in my researching of guests. Oh, he wrote books. Sounds amazing. Sorry, Christina, go fuck yourself. Not only are they not available, but most of these publishers are defunct. So fuck me. Oh, he wrote, there's more. So he wrote under pen names. Amazing. Let's see if I can access those. Nope. Oh, there's a website on his Twitter. Maybe now I'm onto something. Nope. It's a 404 link. Okay. Well, maybe it's just an error and I can look the company up with the no books behind it. Nope. It's a fucking hose company. I quit. Sweeney made me quit.
You're a man of mystery.
You're a mystery. Like, I can't find anything about you online. Luckily, Drew or you put something up on Godless about 3 books that are under your pen names, which is, and if I mispronounce them, be like, Christina, you can't talk. The Biatches, is that correct? The Biatches?
Yeah, that's one of them.
The Pornographer General.
That was
and
that sounds amazing.
Smut and Trade. Is that right? Smut and Trade?
That was Smut and Trash.
Smut and Trash. Sorry, I can't even
Smut
read my own writing.
Trash.
I was writing so
Where do
quickly.
I get this? I need it.
Yeah. So that's part of my question is you have so many, because I even tried to find ebooks for Genocide on the Infinite Express, and it's not available on Godless or Amazon. So my first question with this is, will you be re-releasing them?
The short answer to that is most of those titles, no, I will not be re-releasing those particular titles. No, I want to sound really pretentious here, but
Go ahead.
as an artist, I was finding myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was that pretentious enough?
No.
You can do better. Be more pretentious.
Yeah.
No, what it was is that I was kind of flailing around at the time. I was just writing whatever the hell was coming into my head without really thinking forwards about stuff which is really important these days, which is to do with, establishing a brand. I don't like saying that, but I know it's important these days. And like I said, I was just flailing around, just putting things out there. And I thought to myself, well, I can't put these things out there under one name, but it would just confuse the hell out of it. So artistically speaking, under other names, just so that when I needed to use my own name in the future, I'd have a better idea of what the hell it was I was doing. Recently, and again, to the serendipity of what happened last year with, Godless emerging at this time, and there was a whole number of us who had a similar problem, which was being banned by the Bezos beast.
Yup.
I finally decided to just settle into, well, my first love, which was horror, basically. Mm-hmm. There's other books where they're all over the place. The one exception to that is Genocide on the Infinite Express. That's a title that was released by the New Bizarro author imprint of Eraserhead Press. So Eraserhead Press actually owns the publishing rights to that, and the fact that they haven't put out an ebook version of that is, well, it's inevitable, basically.
So essentially,
there's print copies of it.
And those first books were experiments, right? They were just ways for you to write and figure out what path you were going to take and where your strengths lied and how you were going to evolve. Very much. I can understand why you might not want to put those things back out there. I mean, we totally get that. Although if you do have any of them just sitting around, I'll read anything. I'll read anything you have. I won't read anybody. So
to be honest, it's been a case of I've decided what to bring with me from the past and what not to bring with me. As I reached down, I've actually got a pile of stuff down here, stuff which is older stuff and which stuff which is newer stuff. But Marianne, you said you particularly liked the one with the long, stupid title. I'm not going to even, I can't actually remember this title. I'd have to read the front of the book to find, that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Okay, so I absolutely I absolutely need to know where the inspiration came from for this book. This is James and the Giant Pulsating Mass of like shitting, puking, ejaculate. I can't even remember it all. I got it in the beginning.
You did. You did.
It was my second most favorite book of 2021. And I know you probably didn't read it in 2021, but I read it in 2021 and I fucking loved it. So how, where, why? Because it's fantastic. Hit me with that good info because I need it.
Well, the thing is with the James and the fucking long title, we just refer to it as that from this point onwards. It's just so much easier.
That works.
That was under a pseudonym, which I think the pseudonym Ronald McDowell. At this point, I really didn't care whether I was skating really close to the, close to the wind as far as copyright and stuff went, because I was going to get into trouble from, the boys of the Golden Arches, as well as the estate of our beloved children's author.
Yeah.
Basically, it was a lot of what I do is an experiment, and I wrote 3 books under that particular pseudonym. I have re-released 2 of them. This was originally under a much shorter title, which was basically James and the Giant Stem Cell. When I re-released it, I gave it a much more punchier and fucking long title.
And I love it.
The other one was Machine and the Mind Candy Factory, which I re-released as well under my own name, because I felt proud enough of them, basically, just to say, okay, this is older material. I was experimenting, but I'm quite happy to say, yes, I wrote this. I think when you put your name up on the likes of Amazon and Goodreads and all that, is that when they start collating the data together, every single thing that had your name on it gets jammed in there. So if you're going to create a brand, or if you're going to try and create an image of a writer, and somebody says, oh, I read something by so and so, and I really enjoyed it, and they go up there and they look for other books of yours. If you did what I did and you wrote all this bizarre shit that was all over the place, somebody is going to be horribly disappointed when they pick up something else by you and they say, hang on, this the fuck is this crap? I came because you wrote this wonderful thing that, oh, it's so wonderful, fucking big myself up.
It was wonderful. I thought it was wonderful.
But my point is that in those early days, I used a lot of pseudonyms, and now I'm more happy to, write and claim stuff for myself under my own name. So I have actually gone back and reclaimed some of the older material. A lot of it I'm not going to reclaim because I'm quite happy to leave in the past and move on, to pastures blue. And that was actually one of them. And I'm glad I did it now because somebody really enjoyed it.
I sure as fuck did. And I've talked it up multiple times because it's
thank you for that.
absolutely fantastic and hilarious. I freaking loved it. I also have the Mind Factory loaded in my Kindle and ready to go. Christina and I are forever book stressed at this point in our lives. So all of the things that we really, really want to read.
There's so much to read.
Yeah. But it's in there and I can't wait.
That's great. I can totally understand that point of view because, I'm a reader as well. Obviously, I don't, I review stuff from time to time, but it's just, when I get the time to do it. But you guys are actually reviewing stuff you're reading and you're reviewing stuff all the time. But that's like, what's the phrase? Side hustle? Is that correct?
Yeah. I guess
Side hobby.
Point.
Yes. And I don't know whether it's just, particularly because of Godless, or whether we're living in some sort of indie renaissance at the moment, but there is so much good shit coming in the pipeline.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The absolute avalanche. We're just getting buried under good shit. If there is,
and that's it really is, because you like, I read an author and then I'm like, okay, I need to go binge everything else that they've read, but then I have all these new guys coming out, and then book stressed.
If you go to my Amazon wish list, I probably
God, me too.
Well, between what you've written that is available on Amazon plus what I have already purchased from Godless, I've probably got every single book that is available. I just haven't had a chance to get through them all, because like I said, like for me, I discovered something about myself that I did not realize. Christina likes to call it checking off those boxes we didn't realize we had. I love Bizarro. And your books were really my first introduction to the concept of Bizarro horror. And so I've kind of clung to that. And like Christina said, you read one book from a certain author, you really, really love it. You just go in and you're like, blam, 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 blam. I need everything this person has ever written.
Yeah.
You are very prolific. So I have not managed to get through them all yet. I also loved the Microwave, your short story collection. I loved that so much from the very beginning to the very, very end. I love that first story about the microwave that causes like time to freeze, and it's so good. It's so good. Christine, if you haven't done that one yet, you really
I have not.
Oh, it's so good. I'm taking up all her question time because now I'm just like, bleh.
It's all right. She's
Go
fangirling. I'm gonna let her
ask
go.
him a question. Ask the man a question, Christina.
So I binged, I think 5 of yours last night. 5, I think.
Freaking machine.
I did The Lusty, which, holy shit balls. I did Happy Birthday to You, Happy Birthday to You, Happy Birthday Dear Thrice, A Cursed Daughter of the Devourer, which is in the upcoming Bradicon.
Yes, Bradnomicon.
Yeah.
Bradnomicon, yes. Grease for the Gears of Heaven. I found that one. See, I can research when there's something to flip and research.
She's like the freaking CIA, man. I'm telling you.
I try.
I thought I was good, but she's way better.
And then I read Squeegee the Sewer Maid.
Yes.
So here's my question. When you are writing stories like Squeegee the Sewer Maid, does it make you like physically uncomfortable? Because the barf and the sewer maid scene, I actually had to skip a couple paragraphs because I was like, I'm going to be sick. So can you write those perfectly fine, or does it kind of get to you as well?
Do you gross yourself out, man?
Right. Yes.
No, it's a very strange situation I find myself in, because you guys are familiar with Gerhard Jason Geik, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one of my dear
If I'm
friends.
mispronouncing your last name, I've only ever seen it written down. So if I mispronounce it, I'm sorry, mate.
No, I think it's right.
Oh, yep, you got it.
He got in contact with me not long after stuff started appearing on Godless. And he said to me that he really enjoyed reading my work because he has this condition whereby he has a hard time picturing things in his head. Marianne, you're a psych nurse. Have you heard this condition?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. He's a very good buddy of mine. We fangirl over you all the time with each other.
And it was
But
interesting.
yes, absolutely.
When he was describing his condition, and it occurred to me that I also have it to a great degree. I don't really see things in my head as I'm writing them. It's more of a feeling rather than anything else. It's almost like, I know the words I need to use, and I put them down on the paper, but I don't have any sort of I don't have a connection to them. It's very peculiar.
That's interesting.
I don't have any kind of emotional connection to the stuff I'm putting down. I know it's supposed to be there, and I know when it's correct.
Right.
It's almost
like it did its job. It did its job, sir. Let me tell you.
But it's almost like there's like a grammar and syntax to describing the five sentences, sentences. And so I know when it is correct, but I don't actually have any, say, personal connection to it as such. So it means even when I'm reading other people's stuff, it's very, very hard to squick me out in any sort of a way. So people have to be damn good at what they're doing in order to get under my skin, Yeah. No, I mean, it's say Squeegee the sewer maid was actually part of a much longer work called Exquisite Corpse Orgy.
Yes, I have that one too. With the giraffe on the cover.
But I thought it worked as a little independent piece, so I put it out there as an independent piece, and it found people enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, it works. It works. Definitely works.
So kind of building off of this concept, this is very, very interesting to me, thinking of both you and Gerhard, who write very, very visual stories. Your narratives are very easy to visualize for me, in my mind, when I'm reading them. So I'm fascinated by this concept that and how I am processing this and kind of understanding this is that when those stories are coming into your mind, it's just basically like these streams of words that are coming at, like, do you conceptualize like the beginning, the middle, the end, how you want this arc to flow, or do you just kind of just let it happen based on what's coming into your mind?
You see, that's a tricky one. I don't plan anything at all. I have a basic idea, and if the basic idea is good enough, I let it percolate. I used an analogy once with another person a long time ago, and what I said is that I have an idea, and it's a bit like say a grit of sand getting into an oyster. The grit of sand gets into the oyster, and the oyster builds up. It's basically an irritation inside the oyster's guts, so it builds up a protective like coating of goo around it, and over time that goo builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it becomes a pearl. And for me, that's always been, the story writing process is that the grit of the initial germ of an idea or whatever goes into, the imagination part of my head.
Yeah.
And I start building goo around it. And eventually there's this entire thing there. Maybe it's just there in the subconscious, because as I said, when I start working on something, I have no idea where the hell anything's going. And I sit down and it just comes out. It sounds weirdly mystical, but Stephen King actually described it in a sort of interesting way, that he said that a story is almost like a fossil in the ground. It's entire and it's complete down there. And when you start digging, you get a vague idea of, this is the shape of the thing. I've got an idea of its scale, from the fact that it's, the pit is going to have to be this big and all that. And you start digging down. It's like it's already there. It's already complete to be found.
You're just uncovering it as you go along.
And I know it's a very different process to so many other guys and girls in the industry who plan and plot things meticulously. And I've tried doing that in the past, and it just doesn't work for me. I actually get bored.
it's just an example of how remarkable the human brain is and how uniquely it functions for every single one of us. Nobody is really the same, especially when it comes to creative process or intake, processing, and communication. So it's, it's fascinating to me to hear that on a detailed level, because my brain most certainly doesn't work that way. I have terrible ADHD, so I always require like a framework to build off of, or I'll just ramble completely tangential. So like, as a person who functions on the complete opposite end of that spectrum, at least that's how it feels to me. It's very interesting to hear that, because I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what that's like. It's very, very cool. And it does kind of seem like mystical, magical. I'm like, how do you do that? How does your brain do that, sir? I don't understand, but it's fascinating.
Yeah,
How did you get drawn into like the world of extreme horror, bizarro fiction? Was that something that you just naturally gravitated towards, or did you have experiences with similar literary works in the past that kind of pushed you in that direction?
As far as these things go, horror, there's an old song that goes, music was my first love and it will be my last. For me, that's horror. I mean, I actually have the very first book I can ever remember reading, which was a horror story. I actually still have it to this day.
What is it?
I'm not a pack rat by nature. I don't hold on to things. But I still have this book. Right. I first read this when I was 6, maybe 7 years old. I don't know whether you have this particular publisher over there in America, Ladybird.
No, not that I know of. I could be wrong, but I'm not familiar with it.
So I don't know who it's an imprint of. I think it's, no, this is such an old book. The actual the copyright details are actually in Roman numerals. But this is Ladybird put out hardback children's books. Normally they're like very simplified and abridged versions of classics, everything from Little Women to Black Beauty, etc., etc. And at one point, and they're all beautifully illustrated. And at one point they did a series of classic horror stories. This was in about the mid-80s, because if I know my Roman numerals, this came out in 1986. So this is the Ladybird edition of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I still remember the very first time I read this book, which is also strange because I don't have a very good memory. And I've held on to it ever since. So this is my first exposure to horror about the age of, say, 6 or 7, and it's always been with me ever since then. But as for the weirder side of things, I didn't read a lot of fiction until I turned around about, I said that was my first example of reading horror. I didn't really read fiction until I turned about 12 or 13, because up until that point, I loved weird shit, right? UFOs, monsters, cryptids, corruption, zoology, spontaneous human combustion, all of that kind of mad shit. Hell, I'll tell you one thing, actually. Wait 1 second.
I was gonna say, this sounds so relatable, does it not, Christina?
Oh, 100%.
I used to drool over the Time Life world mystery collection that they would have on Saturday mornings because I wanted it so bad.
I said I've always been into the weird shit, basically, and I do want to put a little biographical moment here. But the day that I married my wife was the happiest day of my life, because I was marrying my best friend, and I absolutely worship her. She's my whole world. But there was a tiny small part of me that was also really fucking happy that we got married on Loch Ness.
You did! That's amazing!
I want to show you this. This is a photograph that was taken on board the ship, because we actually, we had this we hired one of these boats that got they take tourists out with sonar or radar and all that kind of shit on it, looking for the monster.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm trying to get this in the show.
Oh,
That is too cute.
oh,
That is too cool.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's too cool.
Oh, friends, if you are listening on a podcast streaming service, if you get a chance, you've got to jump over to YouTube and catch this one because that is adorable. If I can, I'll catch a screen cap and put it on the Facebook group because that is too great. That is too great. So sweet.
To answer your question, I really enjoyed weird shit. So I was mainly into non-fiction for a long period of time. I used to read this magazine called The 40 Times. Is, you've heard of it. It's a good read. It's skepticism with the little c rather than the big K.
Right.
But they had an interview in there one month with a writer called Robert Rankin, and Robert Rankin's like he's a British comic writer, and not comics, Superman novels, but more like Terry Pratchett,
Yeah.
And he was writing books which were really bizarre books. I mean, some of the titles alone will give you an idea of just how strange. He had books called like Nostradamus Ate My Hamster, or Raiders of the Lost Car Park, or Armageddon.
Almost like our Goosebumps, yeah? Kind of like our Goosebumps titles from R.L. Stein?
No. He was just writing weird
shit.
Weird shit, basically. And he's still writing to this day. He's made a good living at it. More like Terry Pratchett, as I said.
Okay.
So I started reading. And that was my introduction to back into fiction. And, I just realized that if you want to read weird shit in fiction, basically you have to read horror. And like I said, horror was the initial germ for me. Was French case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So I started reading horror from that point on. But there wasn't really any kind of weird shit out there until Bizarro became proper thing. Because until the late part of the 20s, which is when Bizarro started to come a proper thing, you had to look more to literature to find weird shit.
Yeah.
I try to think of some examples off the top of my head. Anything by, say, the likes of Flann O'Brien, an Irish writer. There's a wonderful Russian novel called The Master and Margarita. But obviously, after Bizarro came along, those of us who love the weird shit found there's just an entire genre which is just weird shit.
Yeah.
So
it's great.
I started, turning my efforts towards writing that stuff, and that's what I was doing for about, the past 10 years or so until recently. As I said, horror was my first love. It will be my last. Got back into horror, and then the Godless thing happened, and here we are now.
Yeah, kaboom. This is pretty great.
Right?
Yeah. I actually just did a panel a couple weeks ago with a group of authors, reviewers, talking about this renaissance of indie horror that we've seen since like 2020, and all of the reasons we think it may have happened, and like historical trends and stuff. So absolutely, it's been wonderful to be a part of.
Right.
It's like finding your tribe.
Yes.
Yes. We've said that many times. It is, because I, before I found like Godless and, books like that, I actually, classics and literary fiction and things like that. And I didn't even know that I would enjoy a genre like this until I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And then, what is it? Since July, I haven't I haven't read like any of the books that I typically would read.
Yup.
Yeah, it's just mostly godless and independent now. So one day I'll get to read my Yanagihara that I bought last month.
We're living our best lives. Let's
We
just
are.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Christina, do you have
I
a
do.
question for Mr. Sweeney?
I have one more.
Oh,
I like I said, I read The Lusty last night, from the Seven Sins, which I think that's so clever. The Seven Sins, the title. And I got, I read The Lusty, fell in love with it. Super brutal. If you have not checked that out, definitely. So I was, going through and I'm like checking off my boxes. I'm like, okay, so we got gluttony, we got sloth. And I realized Pride. Have you released Pride yet?
No. Pride, if you remember from your classical reading, Pride is the worst of the 7 deadly sins.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, it had to be the last in the series. So that's the one I'm actually working on at the moment.
Awesome.
so it's coming.
Yeah, well, as I said, it had to be the Kappa because Pride is the worst of the classical 7 deadly sins. So that one will just be called The Proud.
Any idea when that one might be available?
No.
No.
Yeah. You get it when you get it.
Settle down. Settle down, lady.
We have plenty.
That's
to
true.
read.
That's true. It's not like I
Yeah.
haven't got 50 Kevin Sweeney books. I still need
Right.
to read. When you write, do you usually only work on one project at a time, or do you normally have multiple things going?
Oh, definitely multiple things going all the time. It's just, you get to a certain point with something and either you get a little bit blocked, so you need to let it rest in the old subconscious. You need to let the guys down there do a bit more digging for the fossil, to use the previous metaphor, or you need to let a bit more of the goo build up around the pearl, to use my metaphor, not Stephen King's. So yeah, I flit around all the time. So I've got about say 4 odd projects on at any one particular time.
Holy crap!
I think it's quite common for a lot of writers, actually.
I can't.
You
A
had Ash
situation
Eric
where
on the other day, didn't you?
Huh?
You had Ash Erickmore on the other day.
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah. And he was saying that he basically had the one board up over here, and he had another board up over there, like a blackboard there and a whiteboard there, which he just had stuff, which was just projects he was working on. That he's a fucking machine. That's
He is.
Yes, he is.
He writes like a book a day. I don't understand how he does this or where it all comes from, because they're all uniquely different. So I don't know that my brain could process that many storylines all at once and still keep them all straight. So to me, again, I'm like, what? This is magic.
I think if you look at people who are very productive, the most productive people that we work, in this part of the industry are Ash himself, would be Matt Shaw, would be another one.
Oh yeah.
John Athan.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
You can tell those guys are working on multiple stuff all the time. So me saying 4 is probably nothing compared to what those guys are doing. They're probably they've got all these things juggling all like that, chainsaws and posters and all sorts of things going up.
Right.
Well, we are going to take a very quick break. It's time for the ad zone. We're going to give a little shout out to Godless here, which is really how we all came to be here right now. So we will be back in just a minute. Hang tight. Hey kids, Looking for a way to affordably access the best and wildest independent extreme horror currently in existence? Godless Horrors is the place to be. Go to www.godless.com to gain access to thousands of extreme horror and splatterpunk books from the genre's best and brightest independent authors. Godless Horrors offers every title in their catalog in a variety of formats to ensure compatibility with your favorite digital reading device. Strapped for cash? No worries. Godless has a fantastic collection of free titles ready for instant download, with other titles in their collection rarely exceeding $3 to $4. Again, go to www.godless.com or download the app and tell them what the fuck you're looking for. Come join the Godless tribe today. Forever delightfully deviant. Forever godless. Okay, here we are. It is time for the rapid fire 4. Tell them about it, Christina.
4 questions, 4 answers. We need immediate answers.
If you give the wrong answer, we kill you. Sorry about it.
I mean, but he's so far away in COVID and airplanes. And
I'll
prices.
find a way.
I'm out. I'm way too lazy for that nonsense.
I'm never lazy enough for that. Okay. Let's
All right.
do it. Go,
Question
Christina, go.
Number 1. Which of your characters do you identify with the most and why?
I'm not identified with any of them. They're all horrible, horrible people, and I'm not.
They are all very.
They all suck.
Awful.
Okay.
Awful.
Why do you think you write such horrible people?
Short answer, hard determinism. Everything was dictated at the beginning of the universe to wind up this way. We have no free will of our own.
Wow. Okay.
He's mixing it up. I'm loving it. Mixing it up.
I know.
He's throwing us off our game, and we have a script.
That's true. Yeah. I'm shook right now. Is there any other literary genre you would like to try outside of horror? I know you said it's your first and your last. It's your alpha and your omega, forever your love. But would you branch out to anything else?
I already have done because of a certain wicked influence from down under, actually.
Is it McCarty?
McCarty?
Yeah, he infects and corrupts everything.
He does. He really
That
does.
Son of a bee sting.
But we have to love him so much.
He's a dirty, filthy man.
And he's tucked away way down there, right at the bottom of the globe, and his evil just spreads out.
It is. And if he would just come on the podcast, he could infect so many other people, and he just won't do it. He won't do it.
We're doing a written with him.
Yeah, he's just missing out.
He's like the devil.
Yeah, he is. He
works in the background.
You heard it here, people. Simon McCarty is the devil.
Which is so funny because the devil is my favorite trope. So that actually, it makes sense because how I started with reviewing is I would read Simon McCarty's stuff and I would do a love letter to Simon McCarty about how he was ruining my life and cursing my family. And it just kind of I would start it out with
a beard doing this. Yeah,
he probably was. It was I like fucking up her life. But I would actually start it out with Dear Simon McCarty, and one of his stories, I wrote something to the effect of he was contaminating my family, and my son was going to grow up and be in prison for stabbing people, and my daughter was going to be a stripper, and her name was going to be Simone McFarty, and just
my son will probably end up in prison for stabbing people with or without Simon McCarty, but
yeah.
I know.
No,
I mean,
no, Tyrion's a very good kid.
mine's
Tyrion's a very good kid. Now, Sarah's on the other hand, the little girl. Nope, don't trust her. Nope, don't trust her.
Christina, hit him with number 3.
Boom. What is your favorite story you have written?
Favorite story that I've written? It's probably Genocide on the Infinite Express, actually. That's so I don't want to bore you with the details of that, but it was basically an exercise whereby I had the stupid idea, which is, it's the little grit that gets into your head. But instead of letting it develop, I just said, right, every single day you're going to sit down and you're going to write a chapter of this. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm not letting you get off the hook. You're not allowed to sit back and let the subconscious boys, do their work in the back. You just sit down, you write that thing. And I wrote this thing. I thought, this is really, really crap. This is stupid. And then I submitted it on a whim, and it struck a real chord with the editor over at Eraserhead. And if you write Bizarro, Eraserhead is the one you want to crack.
Yep.
And so I was kind of proud of this really stupid little thing that just popped out of nowhere, basically.
Now I'm gonna have to go find it.
You can't. That's what I'm telling you.
God damn it, Kevin Sweeney.
I'm on to you.
Fuck.
I'm on to you. The most frustrating, because Ash, I couldn't find a lot on Ash because he started 18 months ago. So sure, I'm not gonna. You, on the other hand, should have been able to find more, but I couldn't. You are uncrackable.
If you could co-author with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
If I could co-author with anyone living or dead, who would it be? Oh God, well, for all of the fact that I write extreme horror, and I know for a fact he has never co-authored with anyone before. It would have to be the master of the genre, which is Ramsey Campbell.
He was just kind enough to accept my friend request on Facebook, and he's such a gentleman.
He is a true gent, that bloke is.
I almost felt like I was soiling his reputation by being his friend on the Book of Face. I was like, you are too good of a human for me to be friends with. You are way too polite and sweet and just proper for the stuff that he writes.
Everyone knows he's a thoroughly decent bloke, and he just happens to be one of the finest horror writers of the past century.
Yes, I couldn't believe it. I sent a friend request on a whim, and he added me back, and then direct messaged me just to touch base and find out who I am. And I was just I couldn't believe that I was having a conversation with Ramsey Campbell. I was shook. I was totally shook. I think you should reach out. Send him James. See what he thinks.
Right. You're like, hey.
I love it. If you were gonna send a book to Ramsey Campbell,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
To just be like, hey, here's my thing. Here's what I write. This is my style. Would you be interested in co-authoring with me? What book would you send him?
I just wouldn't do it.
Oh no!
I couldn't. No. That's that would be like that would be like me being a 4-year-old kid taking my scribbled crappy pictures that Mum had put up on the fridge, and this is our house, this is our stick figure family, and just putting it the likes of Picasso and saying, do you want to collaborate? It's not going to happen.
I don't think that at all. Lord.
There are levels in this game, and we should all appreciate who we are and where we should stay.
Kevin's like, I just got to stay in my lane, man.
Right.
I know my scope of practice. Well, I think your scope is pretty much up there. So, well, it's funny. Different writing styles and different authors will set fires in different people's brains, different, unique, and individual reasons.
Yeah.
Yours just happens to be one that starts fires in my brain. Gerhard, he's forever sending me his new stuff. Hey, will you read this? And I never hesitate. I'm like, why are you even asking me? Like, it's because it's just something about Bizarro and the style that you guys write in. I just freaking love it.
It's her jam. It's her bop, if I may.
They slap.
She's so cool.
They slap so hard.
She's so cool. I'm so uncool.
Bangers.
I don't know what that means.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Kevin Sweeney. You have successfully survived the test of the rapid fire 4 this time.
This one time.
This one time.
Yep. And it's an accomplishment.
It is.
Oh,
it is.
I should also probably point out that there was one copy of the Genocide on the Infinite Express on Amazon, and I got it.
You shut up.
I got it.
You shut up.
I got it. I just gonna say.
Well, after you read it, you better.
I can share it.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I can share it. I'll share it.
I'll send you a little bit of money. We can have joint custody of that joint. Right there. You need to pass that spliff to this bitch when you're done joking on it, because I need that.
Gotcha.
Oh, Kevin, you are so kind and so patient for hanging out with us, because we are
loud and
us.
I've been looking forward to this.
Pretty ridiculous. You're so kind. So kind. If the people would like to contact you, should they? And if that's okay, where is the best place for them to find you or reach out to you if they have questions or interested in how to get physical
Marian.
things? Oh my gosh. Hold on.
There you
y'all.
go.
Am I back?
No, you're good now. You're back.
Okay.
You're back.
So if people would like to contact you, if they should contact you, where is the best place for them to find you or to reach out, if you're comfortable with that?
I'm quite comfortable with that. It's on Facebook, and just today I joined the TikTok.
Yes, that's right. You followed me. I followed you back.
The talker ticks.
The ticky tackies. Now you have to actually make content. So if you need help, holler at your girl, because I got you, friend. I can help you.
Okay.
Where can we find you?
Yeah, what is your handle on TikTok?
It's highly original at Sweeney Kevin.
Yes.
My name, just vice versa.
Boom.
Are you still active with your Instagram? I feel like you had an Instagram, but I feel like I tried to tag you in something recently and I maybe was not able to find you. Are you still doing Insta?
It disappeared off my phone. I think I have to reinstall it.
Okay.
I think I've mentioned to you before that as far as technology goes, so I'm always a little bit leery about installing anything new, because I've got this terrible fear that I'll just fumble through things. I'll accidentally get the nuclear weapon codes and set them up.
Maybe so.
That's a strong fear right now.
And
Yeah.
maybe you said that like everything is predetermined. So if that's the way it's gonna be, that's the way it's gonna be. Let's just let it happen. We can all just lean into it.
Right. Kevin Sweeney ended the world. Thank you, Kevin.
I mean, it's not gonna be any worse than anything else that's coming. So
especially
for more information on Kevin Sweeney, including his full bibliography, which dear Christina, just She labored over pulling this together because it is quite remarkable and impressive. Please refer to today's show notes or come join us on the Mothers of Mayhem official Facebook group. Of course, as always, we have our merch store. The link for all of these things can be found on my personal link trees, or through our pinned posts on the Facebook group, of which Kevin Sweeney is a member. So that is also a good place to tag him in a post if you're interested in connecting. I'm popping new designs on the merch store all the time. Our Facebook group is highly active, lots of activity on a daily basis. And you can find the links to our various social media accounts in our show bio. As always, send your questions, comments, or insults to our email address, momextremepodcast@gmail.com. That's m.o.m.extremepodcast@gmail. Do not forget to send dildos to Christina.
Please don't. I'm just gonna chuck them. I'm gonna chuck them at the moose. Chuck them at the moose.
Well, you need something to fight off the moose. You hear this?
They're
People,
aggressive.
Dildos. So DM
they're
me
aggressive.
if you need her mailing address. Kevin, I'll get that to you here shortly so you can do your part. As always,
Thanks, Kevin.
a huge thank you to singer-songwriter Amigo the Devil, who was so kind in letting us use his song Hungover in Jonestown as our theme. I told you on the last episode, you should be listening to him if you are an extreme horror fan. If you are not, I don't know why. He writes modern murder ballads. Like, his songs are basically short extreme horror stories. So you need to be listening to this guy. He's incredible. Mama C,
Yes,
who
ma'am.
we have coming to hang out with us on our next double whammy?
Mr. Jasper Bark.
My precious book papa. Oh my God. Kevin, have you met Jasper?
No, isn't he another Brit?
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of us over here, but we're British, so we don't talk to each other.
It's very American too.
Yeah,
Like,
makes sense. Makes sense. Well, Jasper Bark is another one of my top 3 favorite authors. Jasper, Kevin Sweeney, and Matthew Cash. Boom, my top favorite 3. So I'm super excited about this. This is awesome. Yay!
a good month for Marian.
I'm stroking out. You guys are going to have to wrap this one up.
In between our double mom interviews, we will be bringing you special installments of my intimate chat with mom series, as well as discussion panel series called Hidden Voices of Horror. So get hyped for that, kids.
Boom! Until next time, go raise some hell children.
Make your book mommies proud.
Say bye, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin. Bye, my children. I love you. See you soon, suckers.
Life is a joke, and death is the punchline. Oh, la, 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 la. Life is a joke, and death is the punchline. Oh, la, 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 la. This life is a joke, and death is the punchline. The punchline.